We already went ahead and finished stuff up last time, but we've got Eddie's challenge, and the reason I wanted to do this instead of having it done off camera is I do remember Eddie's challenge being quite a bit more difficult. What am I doing? Quite a bit more difficult than the rest of the game normally, so I'm gonna go ahead and try this out. It should actually be a real challenge this time, and especially because we're at level 43 and we haven't been fully upgraded. We haven't fully upgraded our cars, and I'm gonna try to see if I can do the drift events still without upgrading the RSX as well. Where's everyone else? They're way back over there. Game likes to do this, doesn't it? I mean, I wasn't really expecting a challenge for the first one anyway. And I guess for anyone who's seeing this and they haven't actually seen the rest of the series, the point is I wanted to see if you can even beat the game having never tuned your car properly. So, you know, full grip, because it is kind of implied. You look at those early trailers that you can go ahead and play this game the way you want, but as we all know, grip handling in this game is really, really bad, and if you want to be really fast, you're going to have to end up drifting around corners or using mods. So I was able to actually beat the game. So it isn't that it's game breaking, you could still, you know, fully beat the game. However, the real challenge here is, I guess, Eddie's challenge. And I know for sure that I won't be able to get gold on prestige mode. Even if you're drifting around, it's going to be extremely hard unless you have an RSR. Oh, the next one is already a drift event. Is it? Nope, no it's not. Why did I think? I guess the icon. Oh, the traffic placement really didn't help me out here, did it? My gosh. And again, it's, you know what, I'm gonna open the map and just see where the AI are. How do I? Nope. Okay, they're over there. Is it just something with this car and the AI just starting so far behind? Because I don't remember that being a problem. Even for earlier on in the series, I don't actually know what's happening. Granted, this event is a medium difficulty, so it's for that kind of stage of the game. And I guess it's kind of expected that this is going to be way faster than I would think. What is happening? I'm not editing the audio at all. Alrighty then. See if I can do that again. No, I don't know. I don't know how I can do that again. Okay, here's what's weird, right? You see this icon, right? That implies it's a time attack. The other one, I'm pretty sure was for a drift event. Yeah, but it wasn't. It wasn't a drift event. If you guys aren't familiar with the method, I'm gonna break it down here. I'm gonna set a really terrible lap, and then after that, once the AI kind of match that, then what's gonna happen is I will be able to beat it easily. So, you know, we're just gonna cruise in 6th gear, you know, just kind of take it easy, relax, and then the AI is gonna put up a time fairly similar. Because it doesn't really matter how good you are. Suppose you set a really good lap for your first lap, and then they keep up with that. Well, now you have to beat yours by a significant amount of time. I mean, in theory, right? By the second lap you've gone around, you could have set the world record without realizing it, and then you have to beat it by multiple seconds. I guess is the logic I'm applying here. So, you know, of course I'm not gonna complain about it being too easy when I am cheesing the system. I will cheese the system for time attacks. So we got 2 minutes left, and it takes around 40 to 30 seconds probably to complete a lap. Probably after this one, I'm gonna make a real attempt at it. I know what you're saying. Well, the AI caught up. Well, yes and no. They've caught up because they're expecting me to set times about as fast as that, but they do kick in a little bit. Thing is, you have to win these events. There's no, like, you know, run the sprint race, which would normally be a prompt that you have to finish in the game. I mean, just get it. Okay. That was the plan. I planned that. You know, I don't have to turn as much the last corner just to save more speed through that, and we've got 5 seconds left, and we've won. Now, I'm afraid that this won't get much harder, but I have a feeling that even though this is, again, another medium race, whoa, I was not even controlling the car that happened. Here's kind of where things start to pick up, if I recall correctly. They're lagging behind, but they're not too terribly far behind. I really don't miss this game's handling. Been playing a lot of Burnout Paradise Remastered again on Switch. I would not recommend it. I think I'm going to talk about this more on Vermin, but if you already have a version of the game, don't buy it again, because you're gonna... It's like doing the same thing and expecting something different. It's Burnout Paradise, but portable. And if that doesn't interest you, then it won't. The actual game won't, and that's completely fine. Right? The point is to sell you Burnout Paradise Remastered. If you already have it, or already have a more attractive option with a better price, then go ahead and do what's right for you, right? It's basically designed for people who only played on Nintendo stuff and they've never played Burnout, which there are a lot of people that I know actually, and the pricing, it is overpriced. It's definitely overpriced. I would say it wasn't a bad decision for me, just because I do enjoy the game so much that you know, it is worth the money for me. Is that second place? That arrow going full grip is all about taking lines. That's something I should start thinking about a bit more once things get a bit harder. So far so good, but the next one is a time attack, another one, and it's the start of the hard difficulty races. But again, it's a time attack, so we have the methods. We have our method. Once again, just gonna chill for a bit and then race normally. Looks like there's another event starting. I should have gotten into an alone session, but didn't want to, being honest, I just didn't want to wait for that. Because if you're on console, I think, and you don't have Xbox Live Gold or PlayStation Plus, you can just choose to play in an alone game. However, on PC, you have to get into the game, and it'll take forever to load, and then once you're in, pause it and then find a game by yourself. Really unnecessary. See, look, I said an abysmal time, and apparently it's the best one that was set. I can afford to do one more lap like this, maybe. Starting now, I think I'm gonna pick up the pace so that we might be able to do 2 laps. Really am focusing here. Oh, are you serious? Still first. But another lap's gonna happen. And that is probably gonna warrant a restart if they beat it. Nah, I'm not gonna beat my lap. So gonna wait here so that the AI slows down to quote-unquote keep pace, and hope that they don't beat it. Nope. And it looks like we're just fine. Look, see? It has this icon, and it's actually a drift event. This should not be of any concern. And again, for people who aren't watching the rest of the other ones, and if I haven't gone ahead and explained it already. So I guess the whole point of the series was so that I could use a full grip or drift vehicle, and going full drift is kind of the way you want to go anyway. So I decided to pick a front wheel drive car, and with that this ended up being pretty good. So for some reason I limited myself after a certain point to not upgrade it past 500 horsepower, because so far the AI is dead enough to where I don't really need to. I wonder if I just sat here and just stopped and waited a full minute, if I could still end up beating the event. Is it me, or did that car just come out of nowhere? So they didn't get above 100k, and I was around 200 when I said that I could have waited a minute, so I really could have. If I have to switch back to the Porsche, I will, but so far, looks like we're just fine with this car. You know, maybe when your car isn't tuned, the game is aware of that, and it's like, okay, let's make the AI a little bit slower just because we're aware that you haven't tuned your car. On to the next one. You know, we got 3 minutes. What I'm gonna do, incredibly unwise, but I'm curious Gonna keep going until there's 1 minute left, and then I'm just gonna sit there. I'm not doing too well. I can't seem to pick up a lot of speed. So I think what I just suggested that I do is a big mistake. So if I'm gonna stick to that, I've got about a minute left. They're almost at 100k. I'm gonna make the assumption that they're gonna reach around 150 by the end of the event. Maybe. Okay, it's 1 minute. Just gonna, you know, let's see. Let's see if I'm an idiot or if I am just that good. So apparently they get really close to 100k points. What is that noise? They get really close to 100,000 points, and then what ends up happening is they go ahead and they just stop. They just stop caring. Another time attack? That was weird. That was really weird. I did not hit the brakes, but the game decided that it felt it was necessary to do that. And once again, I'm just gonna relax. I know someone's gonna say, well, normally no one, but if someone were to say something, it's probably gonna be, why are you complaining about how easy it is when you're cheesing it? You know, I would appreciate if the rest of the game was as difficult as these could be, due to the fact that the AI just keep up with you regardless. But the rest of the game is the problem here, not these. With these events, again, you can be extremely good, and you set an extremely good lap time. Now you're done basically. Got about a minute 30, so each one takes about 40 seconds. Think right after this one, gonna go ahead and start picking up the pace, especially so that if it's possible to get a second chance. Oh, that's an online player. All the cheese. And there we go. I don't hear my car's engine at all. Why? What is this game's problem, man? Well, I can hear the turbo, so that's really, really bizarre, man. I tried something for that corner. Ugh. And it didn't work. Whatever it was I tried. It's so hard to tell because it feels still the sound keeps, I guess, increasing in pitch regardless of what gear you're in, so I can't really tell unless I'm looking or unless I drive enough like this so that it's memorized. Second place is not terribly far away. This corner will be the death of me. Why? Are you serious? Come on. Oh, this is so frustrating. Can't hear anything. He's right there. Okay, there we go. We're gonna see a real challenge. Oh, come on. Hearing that other engine sound is a little disorientating. Carefully. Oh, gonna play dirty. And I need to remember to shift. I haven't been using NOS that a whole lot, so I think that's where one area I can make up time. Oh, why is it not turning? Turn, please. Please turn. Engine braking like a moron, but hey, we won. It worked. Shut up. If I can't hear the car, then I'm just gonna head back to the garage and head back out, cause I guess it does add to the challenge, but I don't really know if that's what I want. You know, a broken aspect to it. Yep, it's still going. Alright. Why won't it let me start the race? Alright. Am I forgetting something that's very important to starting races? Okay then. Why do I like this game, man? Why do I do it? Why? Might have to upgrade the car soon. Well, we're close to the end anyway, so let's just keep going. We'll upgrade when we start losing, and losing pretty badly. So one AI seems to care about this race. That last race proved to be more exciting than this one. But hey, one AI is not doing too bad. Kind of messed up those last few corners, so they're getting a chance to catch up. I'm surprised they don't have a split time counter for these types of races. It would seem like a basic feature, but then again, this game launched. When it launched, you couldn't copy vinyls to the other side, and it didn't have a photo mode either. Are you serious, dude? That is the universe's way of saying, hey, you tried to use the handbrake to drift around a corner, despite that kind of not being allowed. Seems like we're okay. Gotta remember we have nitrous. But you see, when you're using a grip car, you have to think, about where you're using your nitrous, because you never know when you're going way too fast for a corner and then you have to lose so much speed in the brakes. Oh, he's right there, and with the corner. Alright, we're good. You know what, that was a good race. It seems like a short race, only 20 checkpoints, and about 4 miles, less than 4 miles in length. They are keeping up. They are keeping up. But it looks like... You know, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything that I might regret. Looks like the AI got hit by a real online player. I guess, you know, I guess I'm thankful for being too lazy to set up a solo game. I think we only got a couple more left. This race. Hopefully I'm actually correct in saying that this one was one of the more difficult ones. Yeah, of course it would make sense going forward and how there are more, you know, as we go on it's going to get harder, but I remember this. It was Dead Calm and one of the other ones specifically. Dead Calm and I think the last race. Maybe I'm just wrong. The other guy with the F40, that was really not necessary, you know? The First of Us. Just noticed its name. Oh man. You know, I would talk about the second game, but I don't think this is the right place for that. The Last of Us 2. Which, I guess The Last of Us is what that name would be in reference to. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave that for other people. I'm not gonna say anything. But I think a lot of the traffic hit the AI or something like that, because they were keeping up pretty well and now they're gone. Yeah, I guess this one's a lucky one. Well, this one was a little not exciting. Why? Every single time I say something about this game, about something that'll happen because of a certain event, I'm wrong. Every single time, almost without fail. What is happening with the AI? They all have 0 points, and it looked like for a second on the map that they weren't doing anything. Like the rest of them, they're just stuck over there. If that happens in the last race event, I'm just gonna restart until the AI are actually functioning. I don't want to cheat my way to the last event. Also, I noticed checkpoints. It's not telling me how many there are, and it's also not telling me the distance I've left. I think it did this earlier as well. Very, very bizarre. And no one else is getting points. You know what? I'm gonna evade this cop event and just... Whoa. They should be here, but they're not. Maybe they're not rendered or they're in the air way high above, because some games will do that depending on where assets are loaded before they're put in the world. You know, I'm just gonna relax for this one. Why not? Why not? You know what? I feel like if the game is gonna do this, then I'm gonna do this to the game. You know what? How about this? Rest of the time, let's see. Can I just get to 100k? But I have to drive in reverse. There's that noise again. I'm telling you, I'm not crazy. Okay, you know what? We almost got to 98,000. Could have got to 100,000 from that point on. Only going in reverse, you know. I guess what it really question is it an advantage to drift in reverse, provided that your car's front wheel drive, or would it be easier rear wheel drive? 14, 13, 12. Oh, we just did it! Yo, 100 grand, and in reverse at the last second. From that point on, yeah, I know it's not that impressive. I didn't get 100,000 points entirely going in reverse, but that's, you know what, I feel pretty accomplished with that. Didn't make any upgrades. I don't care anymore. And looks like AI are. Whoa! I was gonna say functional, but no part of this, no part of what you're seeing here is functional. Huge Mustang. If it wasn't in the way, that would have been way faster out of those corners. You know what it looks like? Looks like I'm gonna have to actually try this race, and I appreciate that a lot. But you see, the question is, why such a big jump in difficulty? Why couldn't it have been almost this hard in the races previous? And I feel like with drifting, You know, I never really thought about it. Some cars are so much better at drifting than others. I mean, it's such an insane difference that it would be hard to really find a right balance of how many points the AI should have. Because let's say your favorite car is a car that's just awful at drifting in this game. I mean, unbelievable, right? And you want to be able to finish the game in the car you like. So they're like, okay, we got to make it so that it's really, really easy, and that anyone can take whatever car they want, drift it, and beat the game with it. So I kind of understand, but really the fix isn't to just make the game so easy that if you have a decent car, it's broken. What they should have done is just fix the cars. Oh, are you serious? Okay, now we gotta play the catch-up game. I think that's Eddie, and he is far, far away. We got 10 miles, so we're good. Plenty of time. 50 checkpoint race. Yeah, that looks like that's him. Looks like I have the top speed advantage. Maybe. And the aggression advantage, because that wouldn't have happened if I didn't run into him, I think. Looks like he's gone. You know what? Risky move. Where is he? They're over there. Okay, cool. Whoa. You know what? I appreciate it. That really, you know, good old, conservation of momentum came in handy there. Just gotta keep watching out for, whatever possible, way they're gonna overtake me. Gotta remember to actually use nitrous. About 4 miles left. I guess my car has pretty good top end, because that seems to be where they all seem to drop off a little bit. Either a little or a lot. You know what, Eddie's challenge? There were some parts where they were slightly challenging. Just slightly, but that's better than nothing. Beggars can't be choosers. We finished all those events, and what level are we? We're 45. Okay. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Where am I gonna get the phone call, man? Still don't see his car. Still do not see his car. Oh, okay, wait. There we go. I have no idea why this car is not very well upgraded or tuned, despite it being the, basically the last icon car you can get. Oddly enough, I bet if you were to drive this, it wouldn't be upgraded enough and therefore fast enough to even beat Eddie in that last challenge, so my speculation, there's no way to tell unless you hack it, figure out what parts it has, and then build a skyline to the same spec. Basically what I'm saying is a little underwhelming of a result, you know? What if they spent a long time tuning this car, and you're driving it like, whoa, you know, there really is something, you know, you can make a car handle really nicely with this game if you just know what you're doing, if you if you have the patience and you take your time to actually learn this game's physics. And that would have probably inspired people to spend more time tuning. I know the RSR, Magnus's RSR, despite it being an RSR, it still told me, you know, hey, you know, if you know what you're doing, you can tune something that's half decent around corners. And granted, it wasn't even tuned that well, but it still gave me the impression, and then I spent enough time tuning that, well, it actually came true. And not every car can be tuned so that it's very well usable, but, you know, there are some really good cars, and without tuning you wouldn't really know. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. We managed to do that with those cars. I'm gonna, off camera, grind a bit more, and once we're level 50 and have the money, I'm gonna upgrade, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna upgrade the Porsche, the Cayman, the F40, and the RSX, and then we're gonna attempt prestige mode. I have a feeling that we might be able to get like maybe one gold event, you know, maybe just one. Not so sure about drifting. We'll see, because now I'm really thinking about it. I mean, those drift events, they took me quite a few attempts with the Huracan. They took me a long time with the Huracan when I first did them. They were a bit easier the second time around, so I will go ahead and do that. If we don't make any progress, that's fine. You know, they'll go ahead and I'll put that up anyway, basically saying, hey, unless you're unbelievably good, you really can't do much with prestige unless you have very few specific cars. So that's going to do it for this.